We welcome those of you who were watching the Finland-Slovakia game. So we talked about it the other day. Every year, a lower seed beats a higher seed in the quarters. It's already happened in the first game of the day.
Slovakia had such a good tournament, but they didn't play their starter, Jan in net against the Americans when they could have secured first and a game against Latvia. Might have been a mistake for Slovakia to sort of concede that last game, and now their tournament is over. Finland getting better as they go.
And we've seen that movie before from the Finns. Not how they start, it's part of the fun, how they finish. Alice check was poke checked by Jaeger. And Braden Jaeger winds in. He was tied up there by Mate Mashtalirski, who was added to the Czech lineup yesterday. They lost Robin Sapocek in their last game against Switzerland. So you can add players, but once you replace someone, that player cannot come back.
That was a conversation with Jagger Furkis, who's here for Canada. Delayed offside, waiting for player to clear.
Easton Cowan winds out for Canada, plays it across to Warren. In comes Noah Warren, looks down to Cowan, brings it back to Warren, who plays it back in the corner. Mate Perci, also added late for the Czechs. Lead pass for Shapovalov. Shapovalov drops it off. Kulik, a shot that's kicked out. And picked up by Barash. Thomas Barash plays for Brantford in the Ontario League. Plays that back for Galvis. Tomas Galvis. Slides it back. Played across. Perci moves it and shoots. It goes off the stick of Danielson. Loose in the corner. Kicking out is Lamoureux. And Barash has it back. Shapovalov moves behind the goal. Wraparound try. Loose puck in front. That's put wide by Kulik. He's having a great year in Rochester in the American League. He scored 24 goals last year in the AHL this year. He's got 15 goals in 21 games for Buffalo's American League team. Already made his NHL debut in November against New Jersey.
I'm not sure how long he'll have to add to those totals. He will likely end up in Buffalo before the year is over.
First round pick by Buffalo in 2022. As Chalet works in. Chalet walks right in. It rolls down to Rousseau. And he'll hang on to that. No score here in the opening period. You're watching quarterfinal day from beautiful Gothenburg at the 2024 World Juniors.
NHL Network Showcase Saturday.
The squad from Calgary look to ignite their offense when they face the formidable team from Philly. Flames, Flyers, Saturday 1 Eastern, followed by Kings and Caps on Sunday.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy.
What?
And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too!
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Foul time. We showed up. Let's show out.
3, 2, 1.
Game time. Come on.
Get low, then pick up. Get your hands in the air. It's a stick up. Shake your tambourines, move it quicker. Yeah, I'm shaking down the town. Get the picture.
I got you, baby.
Moving on the floor, gotta love that. How she keep it going on, gotta love that. To the beat like a pro, know you love that. She can shake it to the flow, gotta love that.
It did not take long for the other quarterfinal to end in overtime as Lasla, the captain, backhand, forehand, dances everyone and ends the game. And Finland on their way back to this Scandinavian arena to play in the semifinals on Thursday.
Off the draw, that's won by Patra. Shipped back to Maverick Lamoureux, who leads Canadians in ice time so far in the tournament. Geeky chips out ahead from a Tkachuk. That's picked off and played back out by Redlich. Sebastian Redlich. There's for Södertälje here in Sweden. Czech players are scattered all over the place playing in North American and European leagues. As Savoy brings it up, Matt Savoy chips that for Patra. Savoy takes a whack at that, but the puck goes over the glass and out.
So a tough few days for Matt Savoy. He gets hurt. They fly over Jagger Furkis. They're deciding, can he play? Is he okay? He's having a great year in Wenatchee for the WHL. And it almost comes to the point, Gord, where the more selfless decision is maybe to pull yourself out if you're not okay. And it's so hard to tell a teenager to say that kind of thing. But in this first shift of this game, he had to go full speed back check, and he looked fine. So skating looks good.
Celebrini moves that face-off back to Warren. And for Dumais. Back in the corner. Minton centers it and just missed Celebrini with that pass. And Celebrini Finds off Stanzel. Keeps the puck alive for Canada. Stanzel at the line, has it knocked down and played back in by Furlong. Celebrating centers it, that skipped away from Dumaine. Brought that back now by Raymond. Dominic Raymond for Stanzel, shoots, scores! Jakob Stanzel opens the scoring to give the Czechs a 1-0 lead.
Czechs open the scoring as Warren gets caught, dragged to the inside, and gives up the outside lane. Now, you're counting on a goaltender to make a save there. I mean, it's a long wrister, it's a hard shot. And yes, it wasn't played perfectly off the rust, but Stancho leans on this one, beats Russo short side, and a puck he's got to save. He's drifting a little bit to his left. And just reading the release, and Czechia out to the early 1-0 lead.
Stanzo plays here in Sweden for Vakra, mostly in their junior league, but a little bit in the top league for one of the best teams in Sweden the last few years. Vakra's won 4 of the last 8 Swedish League championships. So the Czechs have grabbed the lead here in the early going. Long plays that back. Now Rakoff on it. Carson Rakoff up to center ice. Czechs open with a decisive 6-2 loss to Slovakia in their opener. Came back and beat Norway, lost a shootout to the U.S., and then beat Switzerland. That game was 2-2 after 2. They scored twice in the third period. Here's Rakoff on it. He got knocked down. Cowan comes back in. And the puck moved rink wide. Picked up by Galvis. Plays in the Czech Extra League as a 17-year-old. Galvis draws back in. Played back around by Geekie. Rakoff on it. That's Jaeger. Up ahead for Donovan. Back to pick it up is Mate Perchik. Czechs' last gold medal in the World Junior Championship are their back-to-back in 2000 and 2001. For 2 straight years, the Czechs were the reigning Olympic men's gold champions, the world champions, and the world junior champions. In 2000 and 2001, they were unquestionably the kings of world hockey.
Trying to get back to that point, and off to a good start here. It's a 3-on-2 that Canada doesn't play particularly well. And give up a wide lane to a good shooter. Makes a nice shot. But you know, Matisse Russo would think, I'm supposed to save that puck.
Back for the face-off against Shapovalov, and he wins that cleanly back. Tachuk had that knocked off his stick by Barash. Patrick Gusta has roots in North America, played for a long time in the American League and the IIHL, so he leans on his big guys a lot. Heavy ice time for his top forwards and his top pair of defense.
That's all right. When they're as good as Czechia's are, then you can play your top pair 25 minutes, play your top line 20-plus minutes, which is unusual internationally. Canada's trying to roll 4 lines while being cognizant to match Kulich, Shapovalov with Owen Beck. I think this is the line for Canada that has to go. Geekie, Patra, Savoy, they have to be good in this game.
Fired down by Furlong after it goes Savoy. That's Savoy. They knocked that free from Hamara and moved ahead by Ulsher. And up to center ice where Warren is back to pick it up. Noah Warren. Bumps that ahead. Savoy takes a whack at it. Patra picks it up. In comes Patra. And that play is called offside at the Czech line.
Patra, when poking it past, maybe not with full control, jumped in. And Patra's been pretty vocal about a little frustration in making the transition over here from the NHL. Bigger ice, jet lag, new line mates, and it not coming quite as easily or as often as he was hoping.
And that has been the history of this tournament. It's very difficult sometimes for players to come from the NHL straight to the World Junior. If you dominate, you're supposed to. If you don't, you start doubting yourself. Dumaine trying to kick at it. And now worked free by Raymond. Works it in, shoots, and that's off the stick of Furlong. Up and out of play. Jakob Stanzel, the 18-year-old, has the go-ahead goal for the Czechs.
Knowing where you live doesn't control what you watch.
means always seeing your team in action. Knowing you have access to 50 exclusive NHL games means knowing your plans for the next 6 months. To know hockey is to love hockey, and to love hockey is to have ESPN+.
And we're live. I am so excited.
With Posh Shows, you have direct access to Poshmark's millions of sellers with auctions starting as low as $3. Posh Shows, the newest way to score the deal of a lifetime on Poshmark. Start bidding today.
Scan the QR promo code on screen to get 50% off Crave Basic and start streaming the best series and biggest hit movies all in one place on Crave. 9:57 to go here at Scandinavium in the first period. Czechs a 1-0 lead on Canada. And Celebrini wins that face-off back for Warren. Knocked down by Ramon at the line. And Saboka looks for him. Now loose in the corner. Furlong worked that free. Picked up by Dumais. He lost the puck. Behar took that away, and now Dumais back with it. Out to center ice it goes. And chipped there by Minton for Celebrini. Macklin Celebrini pivots back. Celebrini chips that there for Furlong, who works in. Down for Dumais. The pass too far for him. Now Minton reaching for it. Knocks that down. And Alex Czech with it. Playing his third World Junior. Moves it ahead. And a chance now for Rimon moving in. And a penalty coming to Canada. Saboka long shot. That's tipped wide. Bouncing puck. Scooped up there by Behar. Needs that back. Behar. Back across for Saboka. At the point, Kulik. The extra skater on for Czechia. Minton trying to touch up, finally does. And with 8:56 to go in the first period, the Czechs are going on the power play.
Some scrumming after the whistle, but Nolan Warren's going to the box. Got split through the middle. What a pass here. Stretching it to Raymond. And a little slash in the hands to dislodge it. It's not a lot there, but that would be enough, given a clean breakaway.
Penalty shot for Team Czechia.
Penalty shot.
Canada number 4, Slash.
I mean, he was in alone. That's not much of a touch, but if it's a penalty, then it's a penalty shot. So, wow. It was a late call. Yes, Bjork.
Raymond plays for Everett in the Western Hockey League, and a chance now to give Czechia a 2-0 lead. Raymond in on Rousseau. Raymond stop. So Rousseau comes up with a big stop on the penalty shot to keep it a 1-0 game.
That is massive for Rousseau and for Canada. Raymond wheels in. Rousseau throws out the fake poke check. And Raymond sees it, tries to flip it glove side, but Rousseau gets just enough. As a little change of pace, and he gets a glove hand down to it. And Canada's got to recognize how fast Czechia is through the neutral zone. Noah Warren, nobody wants to save more than him.
Out to center ice. That pass chipped by Prebill. As Geekie comes in the forecheck, knocks that free for Savoy. Geekie back on it, banks that back to Lamoureux, winds and shoots. That was blocked and moved out by Mastolarski. Mastolarski playing in his first game of the tournament for Czechia. He was with the team, however, didn't have to fly in. As Geekie works in, Connor Geekie winds in, tries that pass back across for Savoy. That's knocked away and brought back the other way by Hamara. Tomasz Hamara in across the line. Hamara centers it, and that pass misfired for Zidlički. That's Adam Zidlički, the son of Marek Zidlički, three-time Olympian, long NHL career, nearly 1,000 games. And that's knocked down by Kulik. Kulik in on Lamoureux. Walks it back to a shot that goes wide. That shot lifted wide by Saboka. Kulik steps around Patra. Kulich still with it. Two Czechs collided, and then Poitras lost his stick. Loves it out for Savoy, and they'll call a hand pass on Canada.
Canada's got to tighten up here. They're getting beat being over-aggressive. Denton Matejchuk, we know he wants to get up the ice, but he's getting caught without support in behind him. Warren's been split a couple different times off the rush. Canada needs to make sure to have layers on defense as they activate in the offensive zone. If they don't, Czechia will beat them on the counterattack as they already have.
Later today, the United States takes on Latvia. And for Lundeborg, the other arena here. And then the nightcap tonight is Sweden against Switzerland, which looks like a mismatch. And we said the same thing in 2019 in Vancouver, actually Victoria, when the Swiss dumped the Swedes.
I like the favorites' chances in the late games today.
Bach up for Danielson, chopped back out by Beck, reaching forward as a large, but that was knocked away by Czech. Oliver Bach, and the London Knights banks that back for Furlong. Up ahead for Beck. Out for a large, tip down to the Czech zone, and back to pick it up is Tomáš Cibulka. Plays for Val-d'Or in the Quebec League. And that pass goes off the stick. Bouncing around for Ridley, who plays out ahead. Lamoureux knocks it away from Chalet. Danielson banks that back for Matejchuk. Czechs are changing as Matejchuk spins back. In comes Matejchuk. Across he goes for Danielson. Danielson back to Matejchuk. As he looks back, he's tied up there by Galvis. Beja tried to poke that freight. And Danielson knocks it back in behind the Czech goal. Or cheek on it. Out for Beja. And Galvis winds it ahead for Stancil, the Czech goal scorer. Under 6.5 to go here in the opening period. 1-0 Czechia leads. Czechs have never beaten Canada in a medal round game with the World Junior.
They were really close last year.
Yes.
Gold medal game.
Scored twice in the third period to force overtime in the gold medal game after beating Canada on Boxing Day in the tournament opener. As we mentioned, 5 players in this game back from that team as Hamara plays it in. Now Dumais racing to it. Jordan Dumais. Crisp pass ahead for Yeager. In comes Yeager with Cowan. And Yeager throws it through the middle. Throw on, shoots. And just missing on the tip was Cowan. Yeager centers. Raykov had it knocked off his stick. Yeager trying to keep it alive. And it's banked back out by Zidlitsky. Raykov in across the line for Cowan. The pass too far for him. Picked up by Ulsher. Around he goes to Cibulka. And the Czechs break out. Shapovalov plays it back across with a sharp angle shot taken by Barish is turned away by Rousseau. Moments after he takes it a 1-0 game with a penalty shot save on rebound.
Today, they were undefeated in the preliminary round.
These guys can score at will.
They scored 29 goals in 4 games. And now, Team USA moves on to the quarterfinals versus Latvia. Today, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network.
This is crazy. You know, with On Deck, we could get a small business loan fast and order more equipment today.
Or Lone Falcon!
There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. On Deck, the online lender that makes it easy to choose your loan and if approved, get funds as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck.
Why did we choose Safelite? We were loading our SUV when crack. Safelite came right to us, and we could see exactly when they'd arrive with a replacement we could trust. That's service the way we want it.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Canada trying to get their speed game going. It starts with good outlet passes. When they do, they can generate chances like that. Furlong beat this guy up the ice, almost finding Cowan back door, but it all starts with better passing from their own end through the neutral zone to cue up the rush.
Scramble draw, Geeky on it. As Matejchuk pokes that free for Lamoureux. Maverick Lamoureux, the Arizona first rounder, Up for Savoy, and Matt Savoy threads it ahead for Geekie. In comes Geekie with Poitras loose in front and flip that wide. Poitras back on it. Back at the point, that's kept alive by Matejcik, who gambled there as Barash was bearing in on him. In comes Poitras. Matt Poitras slides that back down. Geekie looks back for Lammer that got away from him in a race for it now.
Get out there.
Kulik bearing in, and Rousseau took that away from an on-rushing Yuri Kulik. Poitras winds back in. Drops it back for Geekie. Canada changing D as Geekie throws that back in the corner. Poitras crisscrossing there with Savoy. And Poitras kicks that free. Looks back at the point for Donovan. Lifted ahead, a skipping puck goes wide on the stick of Geekie. And here's Czech. That pass knocked down by Minton, played back into the Czechia zone. As Sobotka has it. Being shouted there by Celebrini. Check out to center ice for Chalet. In comes Chalet. Shoots. That was blocked by Bonk. A Barry London battle there. As Bonk got the best of that. And Celebrini up ahead for Dumais. Crisscrossing with Minton. Lead pass for Fraser. Minton drops it back, and the pass is picked off by Malofsky.
The second Minton got that, he's thinking, I want to pass it to Celebrini. He's thinking, how can I score?
Here they come again. Celebrini knocked down that pass. Shoots from a sharp angle. Hit the side of the goal. Dumais sealed the walls. Minton comes in. The puck loose in the corner now. 3.5 to go in the opening period. Andre Becher works it back ahead. Bouncing puck for Raymond. That was knocked away by Bonk, and a sharp angle shot goes wide from Becher. Bumped back in by Alscher. Now worked loose behind the goal. Couple of whacks at it. Stützle plays it back in deep for Raymond. Raymond pivots back on Bonk. And now Celebrini works it free to the line, but not out. Held by Alscher. Canada hemmed in here under 3 to go in the period, and Donovan has it back. Crisp pass ahead. He finds Allard for Dumais. Canada in the middle of a change as Owen Allard comes into the forecheck on Alscher. And Allard wins that battle for the puck, but it's scooped up by Prebill. Banked back in by Furlong. Alscher a second chance. Plays it back around for Hamara. Ottawa 3rd round pick. And now fired down the ice, and icing called against Czechia.
So if Canada needed to be alerted to what this game would feel like, now they know. You know, Czechia steps forward, presses all the time in the neutral zone. As I think this ice is going to get waved off and go to the center ice.
Yeah, the linesmen are talking about it.
It's called icing initially, but I think they're going to change that.
So a center ice face-off.
Celebrini getting a double shift here late in the period.
Brought in. And a quick shot taken by Mashkalerski. His glove by Rousseau.
Celebrini the center of attention, getting his mask grab there, and why wouldn't it be the center of attention? Check out his ranks, you name it, he's first. Goals, points, but all the process stats to get there, including getting to the slot. He has been Canada's most dynamic player, and there's his family.
Yeah, on the right is Rick, Mom Robin. Siblings there as well, and both the parents very good soccer players. Rick played pro, Mom played in college. Rick now the director of player performance and sports medicine for the Golden State Warriors of the NBA.
Some serious information to draw on from Dad.
Yeah. And some serious athletes to be around as a youngster to learn from. What are you doing to get better today? That's the Celebrini mantra. Big hit by Allard. Now moved in. Shapovalov comes in. Fans on that shot. Drop back for Kulik. The Czech captain plays it back. Sobotka shoots, scores! Tomáš Sobotka with a point shot that sneaks through, and it's 2-0 Czechia.
Nothing on the point shot. Canada getting caught gapping out here in the neutral. Look where Matejcik's standing. is at the hash mark, so the puck gets the middle. Shapovalov is able to get full possession, and we've seen Russo struggle with the screens. And I think it's a stacked screen, Lamoureux in front of him. And stick's not on the ice, puck just goes underneath it. That is 2 goals. I know it's a screen. Those are 2 goals that you need your goaltender to stop in an elimination game against a tough opponent.
Mentioned Sabolka plays for Val-d'Or, the Quebec League. He's the only Quebec League defenseman who's leading his team in scoring. He's the highest scoring D-man in that league with 28 points in 27 games. And he's got a key insurance goal here for the Czechs. And Sabolka plays it back across. He's been unpicked through 2 NHL drafts. Now another chance walking right in. Lifted on goal and a good look there for Milovsky. Savoy. Rink wide he goes for Geekie. And Connor Geekie drops that back for Poitras. Matt Poitras. Back for Bonk. Bonk. Moves around Chalet, plays it back to Poitras. And Poitras dances in the corner. Matt Poitras. Loose behind the goal. Fights off Perchi. Now a shot by Bonk goes off a skate and wide. Loose at the side of the goal, picked up by Perchi. Threads that pass in for Chalet. That pass missed. And that'll be an icing call against Czechia.
Canada on their heels. Czechia playing their game plan to perfection. As simple point shot, but Lamoureux, Barish in the line of sight of Russo. And it's been Czechia far more dangerous.
Czechs have outshot Canada 8-0 in the last 12 minutes of the game.
Feels like that. Not just the 2 that's gotten past Russo. Canada hasn't had a chance.
At the line, held by Lamoureux. Final minute now, the opening period. Jaeger trying to knock down that pass. Perchi. Up ahead. For Milovsky. Mateusz Milovsky plays for Baie-Comeau in the Quebec League. Moved out ahead, but once again, icing called against Czechia.
Well, problem solving on the fly. It's part of the challenge of this tournament. Czechia is an unfamiliar opponent. They would have had a pre-scout for them, but they haven't played against them. They don't know what it feels like to play against Czechia, and they're finding out that they're a bit quicker than maybe any team they played to this point.
And the Czechs we mentioned gave the Americans all they could handle in their round-robin meeting. That went to a shootout. Rakoff off the face-off win, spins and shoots. That's off the glove of Rabal. Now racing up is Matejchuk. Chips it down to Rakoff. Rakoff trying to work that free. Now comes back in on Milovsky. Battle for it down low. Work free by Rakoff, and the pass from Matejchuk got away from him and back down the ice. Lamoureux pivots back, chips out ahead for Celebrini. Time winds down in the period. Celebrini ahead to Minton. He's got Matejchuk jumping in. Here comes Matejchuk in, shoot. That was blocked. Final seconds now. Matejchuk sends it across, and Dumais shoots after the horn. The Czechs come over on that, but they'll be happy to go to the dressing room with a 2-0 lead on Canada on the goals by Stützle and Sabolka. It's quarterfinal day of the 2024 World Junior Hockey Championship. Our first intermission is coming up next.
Here for Canada, it's 2-0 Czechia. Let's hear from Canadian forward Matt Savoy standing by with our Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Matt, first game back for you here in the first period. How did the legs feel?
Legs feel good. I think just as a team, we got to clean up some execution and get back to our game.
You did have a chance to watch the Germany game, so did you gain anything from that, from a bird's eye view, that you hope to apply into this game here?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just that I want to be out there. It's never easy to watch your team play and you're sitting in the stands, so it's good to be back in the lineup tonight. We just got to clean some things up.
I feel like you guys have learned how to bend and not break, so what do you think that conversation will be in the locker room?
Exactly that. I think we're a really motivated group, a really tight group in there, so I think it's going to take a collective effort to battle back in this one.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
James Duffy, Cheryl Pounder, Jeff O'Neill, Bob McKenzie. We saw a lot of signs in group play that this Canadian team wasn't really clicking, but I think the thought is, well, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out by the quarters and get better as the tournament goes along. Certainly doesn't happen at all in that first period. What went wrong?
Yeah, they fell way short of what's needed to win this hockey game from everybody. Forecheck, players playing well in the offensive zone, goaltending, neutral zone play. It was way short of what's needed for Canada, and you see it on this first goal. Celebrini makes a great play to Dumais here. You can't give a good player a bad pass. He's got to be able to handle that, not a loss of possession. Warren tries to grab some neutral zone ice and can't get it back. And when this player here for the Czech shows shot like that, the goaltender has to find his net. And you look at this play right here, it looks like he just lost his net and that angle was off. The second goal here, the Czechs gain entry into the zone. It goes back to the point, and there's just no question the goaltender has to have this play. I don't care about screens, traffic, whatever. That's a shot that goes down. It's 5-hole, and they always say, James, anything that goes through the goaltender is not a good goal. That's an example of it right there.
You know, I was looking the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game and thinking, you know what? Canada's start very energetic.
Mm-hmm.
They were creating a lot early on. I looked at the shot clock on the screen and I'm thinking, wow, 4 or 5 minutes in, they got 5 shots on goal. It's not too bad. They're playing pretty well. And then as the period ended, I looked up and I saw they still got 5 shots on goal. They literally generated nothing in the last 14, 15 minutes of the period. And the Czechs are a monster, a bear to play against when they've got a 2-goal lead.
And Russo, who was so great early in the tournament, did give up 2 goals in the first 4 shots against Germany. And now you're in a situation where if you did want to make a change at some point, nobody else has played. And you put St. Hilaire in the second period of a quarterfinal game where he hasn't taken to the ice yet. And it could have been worse. Russo's good moment was on that penalty shot.
Yeah, he redeemed himself very quickly after the first goal with the big save on the penalty shot. But again, it was a case where Canada has a tough time in the neutral zone. Warren gets blown by, Ryman goes right through, and good defensive play by Warren to try and prevent the breakaway goal. But it's a penalty shot, and away we go. And, I mean, Russo comes out. You don't see that poke check very often like that, but he does it, and a lot of these guys are trying that little flip play where they finesse the puck over the goalie, and it obviously didn't work there. That should have been a big lift for Team Canada, but they weren't able to build on that.
And that happens again. You can see that the defense and the connectedness really not reading the speed of this Czech team.
Cheryl, you, like the rest of Canada, have been yelling shoot throughout the entire tournament, take the puck to the net, and it seems like game after game there's only one guy that is doing that.
Yeah, and it's Macklin Celebrini in particular. In the first 5 minutes, we were talking about shoot the puck, find ways. They had energy, they had the opportunity to shoot, and they didn't take it. They forced play. But Macklin Celebrini, there's something about these gifted players who are instinctual. They say, I'm going to take what I got. What a spinorama here. But he drives the dot to the middle of the ice. You have to have that willingness to take the puck to the net. You want to put your opponent back on their heels, start shooting the puck. Now all of a sudden there's chaos. They have to turn to find a way to find the puck. And guess what? That's when teams open up. And in the first 5 minutes of the game, they did have heavy pressure. But guess what? It didn't translate into anything. So now you have an opportunity to put the Czechia back on their heels. Now it's the other way around.
There's also a tendency for us to always say, what's wrong with Canada here? Kudos to Czechia, who had a long...
They're great.
There was downtime in this tournament where they were not very good for about a decade, and now it's a couple of years running. They're back, and that was a terrific first period by them. Let's look at the numbers from our friends at Sport Logic. Fairly even all the way through. The rush chances 2-0 for Czechia. That's the big advantage there. And, of course, the same on the scoreboard right now. Right, terrific start for Czechia. 40 minutes still left for Canada to get it together here in the quarterfinals of the World Juniors. Back with more right after this.
Without a shot for 12.5 minutes in that first period. A 2-0 lead for Czechia, trying to beat Canada in the medal round game for the first time at the World Junior Hockey Championship. Lord Miller, Mike Johnson back here in Gothenburg. The scouting report and the Czechs bang on. They are quick, especially in transition.
And you can be told that as a player, and you can be reminded of it and said position is where you should go. But until you feel that speed, until you see it firsthand, maybe you don't quite appreciate it. And for long stretches in the first period, Canada was having a hard time getting through going forward, but they had a lot of trouble dealing with the speed. They're getting beat up the ice, getting put into awkward defensive positioning as Czechia was slashing through, drawing bodies, and then opening up opportunities. They scored one goal off a rush. Even the second goal was shortly after a rush entry. And Canada's going to have to manage the puck better and manage their positioning better to deal with the speed of Czechia.
The teams will start this Second period, 5-on-5. There were no power plays in that first period. There was, however, a penalty shot that Matisse Rousseau stopped on Dominic Ramos.
Interesting, Celebrini getting the start, no longer worrying about matching Owen Beck's line against Shapovalov.
Knocked down by Rousseau. Minton on it. That's knocked down by Parash. And picked up by Matejchuk for Lamoureux. Maverick Lamoureux spins back. Looks across to Matejchuk. Minton chips at that, picked up by Celebrini, and Macklin Celebrini is stripped there by Mateusz Shapovalov. The Czechs bring 5 players back from last year's team, including their entire top line. Parash moves in. They now spread out throughout the lineup, but the 3 that played against Canada in the gold medal game together are all back this year. Shapovalov, Cooley, and Chalet. No chance now. Swarovski moves it back across. Oh, what a stop by Rousseau. Point-blank save there. And maybe a game saver on Chalet. Back comes Minton. Edward Chalet had a great look in front, and Rousseau stared him down. Now a steal by Savoy, and a wraparound try. Stop there by Rabo. I mentioned me how Rabo plays for UMass in the NCAA. That was his goal all along. From the age of 15 on, he wanted to play college hockey in the United States. In comes Savoy. Swings that back across. The bouncing puck knocked away from Poitras. Furlong on it. Drops that back for Geekie. And Geekie in for Furlong. Back for Dumais. Dumais shoots. That's blocked. Chip back. And Furlong unable to keep it alive. In comes Chalet into a long shift for him, and a long shot kicked away easily by Rousseau. Pick free. Poitras drops that back, and the bouncing puck kicked ahead by Geekie. And Geekie swings that down to the Czech zone and goes off on a change. Tomasz Galvas back to pick it up. His dad Lucas played in a couple of World Juniors for the Czechs, and so did his brother. Runs in the family for them. And a long lead pass for Back. Up for Allard. Owen Allard holds. Spins that back in deep for Back. Back around for Danielson. Nate Danielson slides that back. At the point, Bonk plays it back in for Back. Back taken in hard by Perchi. Dorian Donovan works up. Side of the goal, it bounced away from him. And Perchik has it back. Back knocked it down. Back centers it for Danielson. Couldn't get a shot away. And now stolen again by Back. Back in for Danielson. Canada changing on the fly here as Cowan comes on. Danielson centers it, tipped wide by Back. Bonk on it. Oliver Bonk pivots back. Matejchuk comes on for Canada. Back towards the goal, tipped there by Danielson in front and kicked out by Rabo. Danielson trying to thread that pass in front, went off the skate of Baker and back down to the Canadian zone. Cowan, long lead pass for Yeager busting in. Braden Yeager drops it back, and it's hammered wide by Danielson. End of a very long shift for him. He heads off. And on comes Matthew Wood. Wood steps into Zawitsky there. And now a long shot drifted wide by Mashtalerski. Bouncing puck in the corner. Picked up by Zawitsky. Plays it back around. And here's Hamanov. Yeager to center ice to Cowan. Chips on ahead. Matthew Wood busting in. Wood in. Shoots. Scores! Matthew Wood gets Canada back within one. The 13th forward scores a huge goal for Canada.
This game could look so different if Matisse Rousseau doesn't come up with a brilliant 5-hole save against Chalet. Good pass. He powers a 5-hole, and there's some stick discipline from Rousseau. Makes an unreal save, and it goes right back the other way. Successful plays off the half wall. Good touch up from Cowan, and the one thing Matthew Wood can do is absolutely snipe. Very good shot, and that was a wicked release. Canada had to have it. They were on their heels 24 minutes of the game, and right back in it now, courtesy Matthew Wood.
From the Yukon Huskies to the NCAA, the first player from Connecticut to play for Canada at the World Junior Championship. He was the youngest player in college hockey last year. He was a 17-year-old. Now picked free by Dumais. But picked up by Kulik. Spins away from Celebrini. And Canada comes back with a Celebrini line after the goal as Minton digs for it. Bouncing puck, Minton pokes at it, worked free by Dumais. Barash plays that back ahead, stolen by Minton. Up ahead for Celebrini. Back on Celebrini, shoots, rattled out high. Celebrini back on it. Kulik plays it back down to the Canadian zone, and icing called against the Czechs.
Maybe a little energy into the legs of Canada, as Matthew Wood hasn't had a lot of ice time in this game, but makes the most of it. Really good play by Jaeger. Finding Cowan through a seam, touch it up, and then you're allowing the talent of Wood. Look at the bench. Please get this one past. He elects to shoot from far out, but when you shoot it like that, why wouldn't you?
He had one 52-second shift in the first period.
Well rested.
In comes Geekie, threads that down. For Poitras. Geekie works in, bouncing puck at his feet. And Geekie holds. Czech defender with a stick now. Bonk, shoots. That's gloved by Rabel.
And he's got to try to get some of that energy, puck battles, time of possession into the offensive zone. And it's amazing how much you feel different physically when you get that goal. Everyone now a little more on their toes, feel a little bit better, a little more energy on the bench. You hear that, you can see the chatter. Test the maturity of the Czech team.
Czechs erased a 2-0 or 2-goal Canadian lead in the gold medal game last year before it's overtime. And a long shot taken there by Lamoureux, kicked away by Rabel. Back at the point, here's Matejchuk. Back across for Lamoureux, shoots, it bounced to Poitras. And Matt Poitras with the Ontario native. Backhand shot goes just high. Here's Geekie back on it. Connor Geekie winds out. In comes Geekie, threads it across. Poitras centers it. That's tipped wide by Savoy.
Hit him right in the take.
Bouncing puck at the line. Lamoureux again shoots. That's wide. And Matejchuk steps up. Sent to Matejchuk. Winds back around. And Matejchuk looks back for Savoy. Geekie was teed up for the one time, and they drop it back. That's picked off by Galvis and brought up now by Ridley. Drops it back to Shala, long shot. That's gloved by Rousseau. He drops it down for Geekie as the Czechs are changing. Brought out by Beck. In comes Owen Beck. Canada in the midst of a change is Beck. Winds across the top. Fresh legs on the ice. Cowan comes in back for Beck. That pass misfired. Moves to the side of the goal. Beck diving for it. And finally scooped up and brought out by Ulsher. Eric Ulsher had that taken away. And in comes Cowan. Easton Cowan lost the handle. As Stenzel has it back. Cowan tried to step into Baker. Now bumped ahead by Furlong. For Danielson, picked up by Cowan. In comes Easton Cowan. Winds it back to Furlong. Sends it back in front. And the save made there by Rabel. Puck loose at the side of the goal and finally moved ahead by Stenzel. Canada applying the pressure here in the opening moments of the second period. Cowan on it. Poked ahead by Furlong. The bouncing puck knocked down by Stenzel. Noah Warren. Up ahead for Jaeger. And Braden Jaeger slides out for Danielson. Jaeger tries to dig that free along with Danielson. Picked out by Czech. Held the line. Bonk with a long shot. That went up the side of the goal. Danielson might have tipped that. Rakoff back with it. Carson Rakoff back for Bonk at the point. He holds the line. Bonk back down to Danielson. Nate Danielson, the Detroit first rounder, tried to center it. And that was broken up by Ulsher. Now on the other side, Donovan steps up, keeps it alive. And Ulsher plays it ahead, a race for it. The hustling back is Bonk. Quickly ahead for Wood to Rakoff. Rakoff winds in. Carson Rakoff drives, shovels it back in front. Bouncing puck back to Bonk. He goes back to Donovan, shoots. It goes off a skating wide. And Czech brings it back out. Alice Czech bumped there at center ice by Wood. Flipped back in by Max Delursky. Let's pick up a chance now for Canada. In comes Celebrini. Back on Celebrini. Ian Holt feeds it back in front. Great stop there by Rabel. Point blank on Wood. 12:08 to go in the second period. And Matthew Wood from Nanaimo, BC has given Canada new life.
This is crazy. You know, with On Deck, we could get a small business loan fast and order more equipment today.
Or Lone Falcon!
Lone Falcon, why? There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. On Deck, the online lender that makes it easy to choose your loan and if approved, get funds as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck.
When it's time for date night, he's always ready.
With Rex MD, I can get generic Viagra online. Stay in the moment with Rex MD.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want, with all the entertainment you love, for the price that cable can't beat. Try free at FuboTV.com.
This is NHL Network.
Canada turning it right up after the Matthew Wood goal. Rush chance here. Celebrini sets up Matthew Wood, the goal scorer. Excellent pass, shot, but better saved by Hrabal, who gets across and squeezes it.
CZECHIA slides that back in. Got us up at the center ice. It goes off to May. Reaching for it is Minton. And right back with the Celebrini line after the TV timeout. The drop pass knocked away by Celebrini. Up ahead for Minton. Press it ahead for Dumais. Jordan Dumais, great move, works right in. Bouncing puck, it rolls down to Hrabal, and he hangs on to that.
So much has changed since Canada scored. Their ability to execute in the breakouts, but their defensive play as well. Turning pucks over, stopping CZECHIA before they get into the offensive zone. Here's the turnover. Now you have a chance to go the other way. Dumais slides it through. The puck doesn't get in front of him enough. He just can't quite get a hold of it as it drifts in gently. And he's looking for Celebrini to come in the weak side as well. Almost getting the stick on it. It all starts with better defense.
Patra, Savoy, and Geekie out there for Canada. And here is Savoy. Everton behind the goal. Matt Savoy tries to wrap it around. And that's chipped away by Sebastian Redley. Furlong on it. Now centered, and that pass skipped away from Milovsky. Patra plays it around for Furlong. Almost picked off there. Now brought ahead by Patra. In with Geekie. Matt Patra winds in, rolls off his stick. Now fed back down to the Canadian zone, icing called. And by the way, for those of you who are new to the tournament, haven't watched lately, Patra and Savoy is how they say it. So you can argue with them.
They've got it right, you've got it right, and Canada's starting to figure it out as well. And it's amazing the swings in a game. Canada good for 5 minutes, not good for 15. I've really carried it for 9 straight here.
12 and a half minutes without a shot in the first period. Minton for the face-off. Tap back to Bonk. Oliver Bonk winds in. Stepped around Redley. Bonk back for Minton. Sends it back in front. Bounces back to Bonk with a shot. That goes just wide. Scooped up by Nelson. Ty Nelson a shot. That goes wide as well. Nelson led all OHL skaters in shots on goal last year from his blue line position. There's a loose net guard at center ice. We've seen a little bit of debris from those in this tournament.
Something's worse than a stick blade. If you step on the net guard, you're going down.
Net protection now mandatory in IIHF tournaments at all levels. Celebrini across to Minton. Rink wide pass and a quick shot there by Wood, who's emerging as a major factor here in the second period.
Neutral zone, transition play, skating it through, making passes on the stick. It's all different for Canada in the best way. They get it to Celebrini to drive the middle. He pushes back the defenders, kicks it over to Minton. All of a sudden, Wood steps off through the seam, and we just saw him score from that same spot. On blocker side on the breakaway, as Hrabal makes a nice glove save. And Wood all of a sudden scores a goal. He's getting the shifts.
Now Beck for the face-off. And that's won cleanly by Andre Becker. Right ahead. In comes Stenzel. Rolls that wide. And goes all the way to Allard as he comes in on check. Allard works that free for Danielson, or tries to. The Swiss referee telling them to play on. They do, and it's poked free for Beck. Owen Beck pivots back. Beck drops it back to Allard. Owen Allard, the Ottawa native, plays it in for Danielson. And it's picked up now by Sobotka, who scored in that first period and played 8.5 minutes for Czechia. The most of any of their players. Lamoureux with it. Flips out ahead, knocked down by Danielson. Danielson corrals it, drops it back to Matejchuk working in. Matejchuk winds in. Then to Matejchuk. Plays that back for Beck. Skipped away from Danielson. Matejchuk steps up as Canada's changing. In behind the goal is Danielson. Works it back to Matejchuk. Cowan calling for it. Sends it back in front. It's tipped wide by Beck. Beck moves it back to Matejchuk. The return pass for Beck. And it bounced off his stick back to center, and Canada completes the change.
Exhausted defenders here for Czechia.
Cowan, lead pass for Furlong jumping in. Canada gets fresh players on the ice as Rakoff comes on. Furlong holds. Plays it down to Carson Rakoff with the Kitchener Rangers. And Sobotka plays that back around. Tomasz Sobotka scored the second Czech goal in the first period. 8:40 to go in the second. Long lead feed chipped in by Shapovalov. Oh, sure. Furlong. I'm not a linesman. Rakoff. Looked ahead for Jaeger, and now Furlong chips it ahead. Jaeger lost the puck at his feet, stepping up as Warren. And Noah Warren goes across to Furlong. Sends that pass ahead for Cowan. He's the count in. Shoots. He fired it wide. Warren steps up. Noah Warren rolling puck. Cowan tried to center it. Goes off a skate. Rakoff throws it back in front. Jaeger a chance. That's knocked down by Rabel. And applying the pressure here in the second period as Geekie stepped up. And Furlong ranges back with a rolling puck. Plays it back to center. Furlong knocked that down. It's batted back in by Perchik. But the play is offside. We're in beautiful Gothenburg, Sweden, quarterfinal day of the 2024 World Juniors.
The Champions Hockey League, featuring the top European teams, face off in home-and-home series.
They score!
To see who advances to the next round.
Makes no mistake on the far side.
Semifinals, January 9th and 10th on NHL Network.
Are your headlights cloudy and oxidized, making your car look bad? Are they underperforming when you need them most? Cerakote's Headlight Restoration Kit restores weathered headlights back to like new and keeps them that way for life. Stop wasting your time with solutions that don't last. Cerakote's kit includes everything you need to go from this to this. Simply wipe away oxidation, give them a light sanding, and apply the ceramic coating. That's it. The True Ceramic technology does the rest. Buy any of Cerakote's #1 selling ceramic products for under $20 at these leading retailers today.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy.
What?
And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too.
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Canada continues to press to look for the equalizer. Easton Cowan splits the D. Just sails it wide, and then more good play from behind the net, quickly to the front. Jaeger with a good opportunity as they all lament the near misses.
Poitras out there taking a face-off for Canada. Matt Poitras mentioned loaned by the Boston Bruins. Last year in the Ontario Hockey League, he had 75 assists for Guelph. The most by a Guelph player since
Jeff O'Neill
in the early 90s.
I thought the old dog was a shooter.
A little bit of both.
He was a do-it-all guy. He brings the goods.
He was the goods. Just ask him. A member of Canada's gold medal winning team in 1995 in Red Deer. Sean Donovan was a member of that team as well, and his son Jurian is #7 for Canada.
The bench on Canada looks completely different. Smiles and noise and lots of chatter. And not at all like the first period where they were quiet on their heels the whole time.
Czech silver medalists last year, their first medal since the 05 tournament when they won the bronze against the United States in Grand Forks, North Dakota. So many great players over the years. Now Lamoureux slaps that down to Geekie. Back for Lamoureux. Kind of got half that puck. And a big hit there by Geekie. Slams down Redlick. Poitras slides it back. Geekie unloads. It goes off a skate and wide. What a huge hit by Connor Geekie. You might say the same thing about the win against Germany, but he got a 5-minute major in a game misconduct.
He's got enough shoulder on that one to make it a non-issue.
Lamoureux rings it around. Chipped up by Matejchuk. Brought in by Savoy. Back for Poitras. Poitras looks back across. Matt Poitras winds it and shoots. It got through the traffic. Rabal made the stop.
All good things. When you move your feet, you're playing on your toes, and you're as talented as these players are, good things are going to happen. Geekie moving his feet. It's exactly like the last hit, just from the side, not from the front.
And not to the head.
And then work to the front of the net, take some shots, get some traffic, and that puck is absolutely dipping and diving on its way into Rabo.
Now Celebrini for the face-off. Up against Becher. Won by the Czechs. And Sobotka got to it. Back goes Furlong for a moment. He got tangled up there by Stancil. Now back at the point. Check a long shot. And it's stopped by Rousseau. He gloves that.
Czechia trying to get back into the offensive zone. They're happy to take whistles, just get some attempts towards the net, right themselves if they've been on their heels for about 10 minutes. There you see Robert Reichel on the left, Patrick Augusta on the right. An all-time great international player for Czechia was Reichel. He was spectacular.
And a very good NHL player, too.
Yep.
Here's Czech with it. Alice Czech shoots. That's blocked by Minton. Chip back for Celebrini. Looks ahead for Dumais, and it's knocked down by Sobotka. Was very high off the glass, and Furlong gathers it back up.
Not surprising. No power plays for Canada in this game either.
Warren gains center ice, fires that down. The only penalty call was a penalty shot for the Czechs in the first. It was stopped by Rousseau. Celebrini trying to dig that freight. Now tapped across. Chipped ahead by Rimon, who would stop that penalty shot. Rimon plays it back, and a hard shot taken there by Kulik. Kicked out by Rousseau. Here's Galvis with it. Galvis back across for Sobotka. Feeds that back down. Sobotka takes the return pass and shoots. That was blocked by Celebrini. Bouncing puck held on the line. Good play there by Belofsky. Bouncing puck in front, scooped up by Celebrini. He's got Dumais with him. The pass goes off a couple of skates, and Dumais can't hold it. In comes Chalet. Edward Chalet looks ahead for Kulik. That's broken up by Dumais. And Dumais flips it ahead for Minton. Canada changing as Minton's in there by himself. And fresh light comes on as Geekie comes on as well. Jaeger out there. Flipped in by Galvis. Scooped up by Nelson. Long lead pass looking for Cowan on a breakaway. Racing to it now is Jaeger. Skipped away from him, and Bonk is back to pick it up. 5 to go here in the second period. Canada's whittled away at this lead, now down to 2-1. Czechs led 2-0 after the opening period. And there's a pass off the skate of Jaeger, an offside call. 4:47 to go here in the second. Czechs lead 2-1.
NHL Network Showcase Saturday.
The squad from Calgary look to ignite their offense when they face the formidable team from Philly.
Connect me!
Flames, Flyers, Saturday 1 Eastern, followed by Kings and Caps on Sunday.
All right, time to do some selling. That's going towards rent. Oh yeah, that's going towards girls' night. And that's going towards a new bag.
Your closet is worth more than you realize. Download the Poshmark app and start cashing in today.
I'm Martha Stewart, and this is one of my new kittens. Of course, I want to give them the happiest, healthiest life possible, which is why I choose Pretty Litter. We love this litter because it's tough on odor and helps keep tabs on their health by changing color to show high, low, and typical pH levels. Pretty Litter is also low dust. And whether you're a new cat parent or a lifelong cat lover like me, this low-maintenance litter is the game changer. Try it today. Go to prettylitter.com.
Fresh off a win over Cleveland. Tangerines and Raptors basketball continues tomorrow. The Raptors taking on the Grizzlies. Coverage at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on TSN.
RJ Barrett got a warm welcome back home, the new Raptor.
Got some young hockey players here as well. An under-14 tournament going on here in Gothenburg. This is a long and glorious hockey history. Lamoureux pivots back for Canada. Maverick Lamoureux leads Team Canada in minutes played per game. Threads that pass out for Danielson. It missed. An icing called against the Canadians.
Czechia has calmed the waters a little bit. And this game has swung based on who has moved the puck more crisply in the neutral zone. Czechia in the first period, Canada in the second. That will be the focus for the rest of the game.
Face-off was won by Beck. And Matejchuk looks ahead to Allard. When Allard flips that down, Beck trying to hunt it on Hamara. And Beck works it free. Owen Beck. Look back for Matejchuk. Found him on the second try. Long wrist shot got through. Knocked down by Rabel. Here's Beck with it now. Beck. Being watched there by Shapovalov. And now Matejchuk. Lays it down to Allard. Back around for Lamoureux, who's jumped up. Lamoureux works that down to Danielson. Nate Danielson tried a backdoor pass. Allard with a chance. And Rabel to stop on that. Lamoureux was tied up. And the lead pass for Barras just missed him. Quickly ahead by Matejchuk. Allard winds it ahead. Poitras spins back. He finds Danielson. Back for Matejchuk. And then Matejchuk goes down to Poitras. He works his way free behind the goal. Poitras throws it back in front. Little backhand shot. Jaeger turned away. Bouncing puck. That was Savoy rather was turned away. And now Furlong with it. Furlong works in. He shoots. Score! Tie game! Jake Furlong's first point of the tournament is gigantic.
Pressure sustained, working through a line change, and then not looking just for a better play. Connor Geekie says, I'll just park it right here. He might be 6'6" in net. I'm 6'4". I'll hang in front of you. And Furlong drifts it glove side to tie the game.
He has one goal this year for Halifax. Scored it in November.
Timing's everything, and that is massive. Canada evens it up before the end of the second period.
The 19-year-old from Upper Tantallon, Nova Scotia. Lead pass now for Rimon. And so Canada scores twice here in the second period to tie it up. After being on their heels for much of the first. Celebrini bumps it ahead. Donovan steps up for Wood. It was Wood who really kick-started Canada's comeback. The goal, a couple of chances later. Flipped ahead now to Becker. Works in, drops that back, and that shot floats wide from Rimon. And at the side of the goal, Rousseau gets his pad down. It will seal the post there. Minton. Stepped hard into the check. It is picked up by Donovan. 2.5 to go here in the period. Lead pass from Minton goes off his skate. And check. Spins back. Drops it back to Sabolka, who gave the Czechs that 2-0 lead in the first. Sabolka. Lays it back in. Lose today, your tournament's over. And a chance now for Rakoff. 2-on-1 with Cowan. Carson Rakoff walks right in, feeds it across, and that pass broken up by Galvis. Rakoff was looking pass all the way. Now bouncing puck in front, poked at by Jaeger. And stolen at center ice by Rakoff. Now brought back by Milovsky. Matthias Milovsky has it picked up. Jaeger lead pass for Rakoff. In with Cowan again. This time it's 2-on-2. Rakoff works in on Perchik. Lays that down. Jaeger drops it back. Matejchuk in, shoots! And that deflected wide. And the puck goes over the glass and out. A great look for Denton Matejchuk.
Rakoff creating it on the forecheck after this rush. What a pull off the wall. Creates a 2-on-1. This is a guy who's a goalie game guy. You're right. He's looking past the whole way. That's well played by Galvis to take it away. And that's on the heels of this wrister from Furlong. And Geekie gets down the front of the net. Not hanging out for one-timers. Battling in front. Being a pest. Drawing traffic. And helping facilitate the goal that tied the game.
Face off in the Czech zone, and Geekie will take it against Preble. And Preble wins that back to Hamara. Knocked down by Geekie. Plays it down to Savoy. Looks back to Matejchuk, a long wrist shot that got through and ticked away by Hamara. Move back to center ice. Zidlichki winds in, long shot, kicked out. Long drive there by Preble. A good stop there by Rousseau. Lamoureux spins back. Back from Matejchuk. Snaps that pass ahead. And finds Geekie.
1 minute left of the second period.
Final minute of the period. Poitras centers it. And Poitras' pass didn't reach Savoy, the intended target. Now Geekie back with it. With Poitras. And Savoy. And Savoy pokes that to Geekie. Looks back in front. That pass is picked up. Stolen back by Poitras. Couldn't get a shot away. And on the second try, Shapovalov sends it ahead, and it's flipped in by Zidlichki. Earlier today, the Finns' overtime win over Slovakia. Lower seed being a top seed. At the line, Czech can't hold that. Alice Czech, who plays for Czechia. No end to fun with that. Lead pass to Kulik, knocked in, but they call that icing against the Czechs. 17.7 seconds to go in the second period. And Beck will come out to take the face-off.
Czechs trying to find their footing as Canada relentless pressure. Back late in the period here. Swapping Bonk and Matejchuk. Look for Beck to pull to Matejchuk. One time to Bonk would be available.
Yeah. Converts their sticks so they're in the one-time position, but the face-off was won pretty cleanly by Shapovalov. He's been a really good player at the World Junior for the last 3.
He's the kind of player that looks like he could play in just about any league.
He's a Vegas second-round pick as Shapovalov. Plays for Saginaw in the Ontario League.
He's having a pretty good year there. 36 points in 27 games. It's solid. He'd be a third-line centerman in the NHL.
His sister plays for the Czech women's national team as well. Shapovalov for the face-off once again against Beck. 10 seconds to go. Scramble to draw, but it's picked up by Canada. Here's Minton on it. Fraser Minton back around for Danielson as time winds down. Danielson throws that back. Picked up by Barish. And the teams will go to the dressing room tied at 2 after 2. Matthew Wood and Jake Furlong do the goal scoring. And we're off to the third period, and who knows, maybe more in this second quarterfinal at the 2024 World Junior Hockey Championship. Our second intermission is coming up.
Now with our Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Matt, Canada is bringing another level of attack. How did you guys find this edge here in the second period?
Yeah, I think we just had to regroup after the first and came out and responded.
Well, you're the first Yukon player to ever play here for Team Canada at the World Juniors, and you got the first goal on the board. So how did that one feel?
Yeah, it was a good play. Feels good. Back in the game. We got a big third coming up, so hopefully we can respond again.
And it's never it's challenging being the 13th forward. In that first period, you had just the one shift. So to score such a big goal, what do you think kids at home can learn from your story here?
Just always be ready when your name gets called. Always try and help your team win and just have fun.
Appreciate it. Good luck.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
James Duthie back with Cheryl Pounder, Jeff O'Neill, and Bob McKenzie. There is a reason TSN invented the TSN Turning Point copyright many decades ago, because there's always a moment in a game where the game could be virtually over and then it flips upside down. Russo, after a rough first period, provides that moment?
Absolutely, James. Everything needed for Canada to get back in the hockey game happened. You got to get on the board, but you're also probably going to need a save from your goaltender, and that's exactly what happened for Russo. Saw that bad goal given up in the first period. First minute of the second, he makes this save right here. If that goes in, it's probably curtains for the game. And that's an unbelievable bounce back by him. And then it goes the other way for Canada. Down 2, you got to make something happen in the neutral zone. A great anticipation by Cowan here. He understands that Matthew Wood is breaking through the neutral zone. That's just a one-touch pass to an area, and Wood makes no mistake. You see the goaltender's positioning here. He gives him blocker, and he takes it and roofs it under the bar. That's a great response for Canada in that second period.
And I'm really interested to see how Letang adjusts now, because Matthew Wood has had 4 minutes in this game. He's had 3 shots on goal. Someone like Rakoff is playing well. And listen, the time is now. You have to play your players that are going, whether it's defense who are struggling, whether it's a forward group. If you're activating, you're engaged. I mean, it's all about this game right now. You got to find a way to win this one.
And that was a really important 20 minutes for Russo and Team Canada, because after the first period that he had, it would have been very easy for a goaltender to maybe come apart at the seams. Only 7 shots, only 7 saves in that period, but a number of those saves, that one highlight reel that Jeff showed, but some of the other saves were just as important.
They finally listened to you, Cheryl, and you're screaming at your monitor throughout the tournament to shoot, 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 and that leads directly to the second goal?
Yeah, it does, because when you're playing a team like Czechia that has such strong structure, they play hard along the wall, and they can play strong one-on-one hockey, you have to disrupt that coverage, and you have to create chaos. And this goal is going to start off of a shot, and it's going to be a real nice job by Savoy as that puck comes into the middle of the ice, and he takes the backhand on net. Now, all of a sudden, everyone becomes puck focused. The coverage has sagged, and now all of a sudden you've got Hewer along the wall. He is responsible for the point. He cannot track to the middle of the ice, and now that lane is open and the shot comes from Furlong. So again, it all starts off of a shot. That's how you can take the coverage away from the net. You can shrink it, and it was a really nice shot by Furlong to put it in.
We justifiably gave credit to Czechia for that first period, but when you watch the way Canada played in the second, you feel maybe there was nerves involved in that first period for them?
Well, especially when you get down. Junior hockey, even more than the National Hockey League, is a game of momentum swings and emotion. They're junior hockey players. They are kids. When things aren't going well, it's easier to grip the stick tight. When things start to go well, as they did in that second period, suddenly Canada starts to look more like an offensive juggernaut, at least in terms of creating more offensive opportunities. Suddenly the Beck line got going offensively. The Geeky Savoy Patra line got going offensively. Celebrini's line was a little bit quiet there. They made one interesting switch, to your point, Cheryl. Matthew Wood did get a couple of shifts up there with Celebrini replacing Dume with the Celebrini line. And the fourth line with Yeager and Rakoff and Cowan, they started to generate a lot more in the back half of that second period. So it'll be interesting to see how they run things in the third period. But right now, it does feel like you've got the ability to go to a 4-line game if you're Team Canada. Let's see if they do.
Johnny detailed the success of the Czechs, how they made plays in the neutral zone, and they were crafty little zigzag plays. You saw how Canada had success there. It just seems like simple stuff. You get it low to high, back to the point, and crash the net. They had a bunch of shifts there where they had the Czechs hemmed in, and then they just lost the puck where they could have had them in big-time trouble. So when you have that, try to get some line changes, some fresh players out there, and then you can really make something happen offensively.
So the score is exactly the same as it was in the gold medal game, except that was after 3 periods of play. Remember last year in Halifax, Canada led 2-0. The Czechs scored twice in the last 10 minutes to force overtime before Dylan Guenther won it. We are at 2-2. This time, 20 minutes to go to decide who gets to the semifinals. Let's look at our numbers from Sportlogic in this one. And as you can see, where it was basically even through the first period, it has swung to Canada, particularly in slot shots. 13-6 for Canada there. They also have a decisive advantage in cycle chances and have come back and passed Czechia in rush chances so far. They've come back and evened the game at 2. Will this one end as wildly as the first quarterfinal did? Highlights from Finland and Slovakia.
2 unlikely heroes for Canada in the second period. Matthew Wood has played 4 minutes total in the game. He got Canada's comeback kick-started. And Jake Furlong, who has 1 goal all year for the Halifax Mooseheads, scores his first point of the tournament. It's 2-2 after 2. Canada outshot the Czechs 11-7 in the second period. Gordon Miller back with Mike Johnson. A totally different second for Canada.
It's like Canada took the script and completely flipped it in the second period, and they want to move the puck up and generate off the rush. They do it better than any other team in the tournament. But to do so, you have to play good defense to get it back. And this is where it got different for Canada in the second period. They were better away from the puck, so they turned it over in good positions and allowing themselves to make the plays up ice. And the whole period was just them passing the puck crisply to people in speed, on the tape, making plays going forward. This is how Canada plays their very best. To do so, you have to be good defensively. That allows them to be excellent offensively. And what they didn't do in the first, they did in the second to great success. Now the question is, can they do it in the third?
Shot attempts were 23 to 12 in that period. There has not been a power play. The Czechs had a penalty shot in the first. 2-2 heading for the third. They played a classic in the final game of the tournament last year in Halifax. And the first quarterfinal today went to overtime as the Finns defeated Slovakia. Here's Hamara with it. That pass picked up by Minton, who wrists it back down to the Czech zone. And Dumais gonna hunt that down. And Dumais with the steal. Loose in the corner, sends it back in front. That was knocked right by Hamara. Matejčuk steps into that and a rocket goes high. Dumais down to Minton. With the Celebrini, chips it back in front. Dumais gets a soft shot away and a penalty coming to Czechia. It'll be Marek Alsher who goes off. 32 seconds into the third period, and Canada gets its first power play.
Good movement away from the puck. Celebrating a little pass to Dumais, who beats his guy off the wall.
Number 27, 2 minutes for tripping.
And absolutely gets a stick into the feet of Dumais. And so Canada, who has an excellent power play.
5 for 12, 5 different goal scorers.
Chance to take the lead for the first time.
Celebrini, Dumais, Patra, Geeky the forwards, Matejčuk the defenseman. And off the face-off, controlled by Canada. Here's Matejčuk. Works it back across for Geeky. Patra posted up in front, Matejčuk. Well, a rolling puck slides that back. Dumais, back to Matejčuk, shoots. Kicked away by Rabel. Picked up by Dumais. Patra slides it back. Here's Celebrini, shoots, it goes off a skate, and Shapovalov can't clear it out. Gloved his backhand, now Matejčuk to Celebrini. Patra hard shot, it goes off a skate. Celebrini back with it to Matejčuk. Matejčuk swings it across to Dumais. Back for Celebrini. Celebrini centers it. Patra gets a stick on it. And it's bumped up by Shapovalov back down to the Canadian line. The Czechs get fresh players on the ice. Matejčuk swings that back to Macklin Celebrini. Jumping in across the line, Celebrini taken down. And the puck held by Dumais. Gets his pass back. Dumais feeds across. Matejčuk works it and shoots. Rebound and a great chance to rake off his glove by Rabel.
Bit of a lucky break on the entry as Dumais' attempted pass stays onside. Puck ends up at Matejčuk's hands. And lets it drag and shoot. Supposed to find Rakoff in the back door. And the quick hands of Rabel snaps the rebound out of the air before Rakoff can get a crack at it.
Now Minton wins that face-off back to Savoy. To Bonk. Rakoff. Back to Oliver Bonk. Carson Rakoff. Feeds back to Bonk across. He goes. Wood, a hard shot. Kicked up by Rabel. Here's Wood back on it. Back for Bonk. To Wood. Matthew Wood. Back to Bonk. Slides that to Wood. Flips it back. Takes the return pass and shoots. And Rabel got a piece of that. Minton kicks that free for Rakoff. Swings it back to Bonk. 30 seconds to go in the power play. Wood. Back for Bonk. Shoots. That was blocked and a chance now shorthanded. And the return pass goes to Beher. He pivots back and swings that in deep as time winds down in this Canadian power play. Wood taps that back to Minton. Final seconds of the power play. Fraser Minton, the Canadian captain, drops that back for Danielson coming on a change. In comes Nate Danielson. Swings that back at the point. Furlong with it, shoots again. And it ramps off the skate of Barish. Up and out. 3 shots on goal for Canada on that power play.
Pretty good job by Czechia killing that one off, staying tight, not opening up any seams. And they tried the one slap pass to the far post, but Czechia was well aware of that play.
Coming up at the top of the hour, it's the United States taking on Latvia in the third quarterfinal. And the nightcap tonight is the home team, Sweden, against Switzerland here at Scandinavia. Beck wins that face-off back. Danielson taps it back, chipped back in by Furlong. Now Beck goes after it. Bumps into Shapovalov. Kulik can't clear it out. Long shot by Warren, pivots around in front. And Shapovalov for Barish. Barish swings that back in deep as Noah Warren goes back. Shapovalov trying to pick his pocket. Warren wins that battle for the puck to Danielson. And Nate Danielson up for Beck. Allard tiptoed line to stay onside. And Beck goes after it. He collides with Alsher. Danielson trying to pick that free. Beck as well.
Over the puck. Move it, 27. Move it. Move it. On your skates. Move it, 27.
Yelling at Alsher. 6 players in for that puck.
Alsher's in an awkward spot. He doesn't want to move it.
Alsher standing on the puck. And he'll finally work free. No, Alsher steps into it again. And finally picked out. Danielson shoots. And the save made by Hrabal. Almost worth the wait. Cowan picks it out. Sends it back in. Danielson shoots. That was blocked by Alsher. Lamoureux from Matejchuk. Back to Lamoureux. He shoots. And that's blocked this time by Shapovalov. Picked up by Matejchuk. Swings that down to Danielson. Good pressure here by Canada. Tire checks on the ice. Matejchuk winds in. Then Matejchuk drops it off to Beck. Shoots. That's blocked as well. A shot blocking clinic here by the Czechs. Matejchuk drops it up for Wood off the bench. Matthew Wood in shoots. That's blocked as well by Alsher. At the point, held by Matejchuk. Feeds it back across to Cowan. Centers Yeager, a hard shot. Might have ticked the post as well. And Zidlitsky tries to play it up. Exhausted Czechs make their way off as Matejchuk works it ahead for Yeager. In comes Yeager, pulls it in and shoots, and that's blocked by Sabolka. Masterlerski winds back in for Czechia. Feeds it across, tick back at the point, check a long shot, Rousseau save, rebound, loose in front. That was knocked away by Matejchuk. Czech plays it across. Sabolka, long shot, that goes wide. Picked up by Wood. Softly sends that back to center ice. And Canada begins to change. Lots of possession time for Canada, but a ton of shot blocks by the Czechs. That lead pass misses. Donovan goes back. Icing called against Czechia.
But you don't mind that. You grind them down, you tire them out, you get a fresh legs out there, and all of a sudden Yeager has this one-timer, catches the post. As Hrabal moving off the post, it goes back against the grain. He's bailed out by the iron. But that's what you can do when you wear a team down in the offensive zone with patience and work.
Face-off was won by Malofsky. But Canada gains control. Here's Minton on it. Fraser Minton, who began the year in the NHL, sends it back in front. That's chipped wide by Dumais. Couldn't get a good wood on it. Now Dumais back with it. Leaves it down for Celebrini. Back to Celebrini. Shoots short side. And a save made by Hrabal, who faces Celebrini. Hrabal plays for UMass, Celebrini for Boston University.
Plays all made by Fraser Minton off a lost offensive zone draw. He jumps the draw, gets to it first, creates a turnover, extended the offensive zone time. He's trying to bank this one off the head, and he misses the spot, doesn't get it up high enough on the very tall Hrabal.
And Celebrini saved up for the face-off against Becker. Off the draw, it's won by Celebrini. Back at the point, Furlong, back around for Dumais. Jordan Dumais, back to Celebrini. And Celebrini winds out. Macklin Celebrini pivots away. Hrabal had lost his goal stick. Back at the point is Warren. Noah Warren, a long shot that's deflected wide by Perchik. And now chipped out by Rimon. Nicely waved off as Furlong goes back for Warren. Dumais chips it ahead, trying to find Minton, but Perchik has that. Hamada had that pass knocked away. Hamada tries again. Both teams changing as Hamada brings it up the ice. Tomasz Hamada moves it on Lamoureux. Lamoureux steps into him. Hamada trapped in deep as Savoy brings it out. Savoy, late pass for Poitras winding in. Matt Poitras in, shoots, just missed wide. Matejchuk with it. Feeds that down to Poitras. Banked back and picked up by Kulig. Yuri Kulig. Through the middle he goes for Barish. Back for Kulig. He's poke checked there by Matejchuk, who falls. And now Matejchuk picks off that pass. Matejchuk around for Lamoureux. He gets bumped there by Barish. At the point. Long shot by Alsher. That deflected wide. And chipped back out by Savoy. Patra racing after it. And icing waved off as Savoy gets in there. Matt Savoy works it free for Geekie. Connor Geekie wins that battle for the puck. Plays it back. Nelson in. Shoots. That was blocked by Savoca. Nelson back. Danielson's shot is blocked by Prebill. And the puck bounces back to center ice. In comes Danielson. Jumps it across the line with Beck. Danielson shoots. He fires that just wide. And now picked up by Beck, but stolen right back by Mashkalerski. Stolen right back off the hit. Feeds it back. A backhand shot by Allard goes wide. Allard got spun around. Bonk holds the line. Plays it back in. Saboska. Had that pass blocked by Beck. Furious forechecking pressure by Canada. Beck on it now. Allard jumps in. Plays it back to Beck. Owen back for Allard, walking in. Got a backhand shot by Danielson. That rolls wide. Jumping up is Nelson. Plays it back to Bonk. Oliver Bonk back to Danielson. Danielson winds in and shoots. It goes off a stick. Kicked down by Czech. At the line, held again by Danielson, who flips it back in. Danielson steps up on Czech. Backs him down. Beck on it. Flips it ahead for Danielson. Danielson drops it back for Beck. He looks back for Nelson, but the pass misfired.
Canadian players are so tired. They got to change here.
In comes Allard for Danielson. Down to Allard. Works it back in front. That was knocked away. Allard back with it. Throws it back in front. That misfired. Cooley's got it back. Exhausted Canadians trying to get off the ice. Kulik drops that back. Here's Shelly. That long shot ripped wide by Kulik. Picked up by Cowan. And Cowan threads it ahead for Yeager. Up for Wood. The pass through his feet. Wood gets it back. Wood drops it back. Cowan tried to feed that back across. The pass was blocked. And Rubble gloves that. Furious pressure, but no scoring yet in the third. It remains a 2-2 tie in this quarterfinal match.
All right, time to do some selling. That's going towards rent. Oh yeah, that's going towards girls' night. And that's going towards a new bag.
Your closet is worth more than you realize. Download the Poshmark app and start cashing in today.
I'm Martha Stewart, and this is one of my new kittens. Of course, I want to give them the happiest, healthiest life possible, which is why I choose Pretty Litter. We love this litter because it's tough on odor and helps keep tabs on their health by changing color to show high, low, and typical pH levels. Pretty Litter is also low dust. And whether you're a new cat parent or a lifelong cat lover like me, this low-maintenance litter is the game changer. Try it today. Go to prettylitter.com.
You work hard. You deserve a mobile bank that will go to work for you. With up to $200 in overdraft protection and early paydays, GoToBank, the mobile bank that works for you. Open an account at gotobank.com.
The Professional Women's Hockey League got off to a flying start yesterday. Now continues tonight with Montreal and Ottawa. Tune in at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN. And Swedish fans beginning to file in as we'll have Sweden and Switzerland in the last quarterfinal tonight. Furlong throws it towards the goal, gloved by Rabel. Celebrini reaching for that. It was knocked away by Beher, caught him with a stick. Now Beher back with it. Flips it ahead, picked off by Furlong. He finds Celebrini. In behind the Czech defense, Celebrini posts up. Drops that back to Rakoff. Carson Rakoff pulls that free, sends it back in front. Celebrini reaching for it. And now Minton knocks that back to Furlong. Jake Furlong sends it back in front. Celebrini missed that. And Warren has it back for Canada. Up for Rakoff. Chipped in by Celebrini as we approach the midway point of a tied third period. And now every pass, every potential penalty, every save looms large. Bouncing puck at the side of the goal, almost picked up by Geekie. Now is. Geekie drops it back. Patra comes in. Matt Patra had that bumped away. It's picked off. Sent back in front. The shot by Matejchuk is blocked. Geekie can't get the puck to sit for him. Bumped back by Savoy. Geekie back for Lamoureux. He shoots, and it's gloved by Rabel.
It's just bouncing around, but Canada keeps playing in the offensive zone. They know it's going to be a hard battle. They're working along the walls, trying to get to the front of the net. And Czechia is doing a pretty good job defending under duress.
Patra for the face-off. against Malofsky. Wins it back, but so cleanly it got by Matejchuk and back down the ice. Matejchuk pivots back, being shadowed there by Chalet. Lamoureux. That goes off a stick at center ice. Picked up by Malofsky. Works it back across. Walking his Ulster shoots. That goes wide. Matejchuk knocks that way the sign of the goal. Now Chalet goes back to Kulik. Banks it back down to Chalet. Lamoureux weaves that back around for Matejchuk. Bangs it off the glass and racing with Parker. Couldn't get to that puck. Chalet plays it back across for Zidnitsky. Adam Zidnitsky throws it towards the goal. Bouncing puck in front. And now Savoka's shot. Rebound loose in front. Rousseau down. And that's tapped wide by Zidnitsky.
Tie up by Lamoureux just enough.
Now Poitras winds ahead. Moves in. Matt Poitras trying to drop that for Savoy. The pass misfired. And Poitras back on it. Chipped in by Geekie. And now that line will make its way off as it's bumped ahead by Preble. That's stolen. And Saboka sends it wide. Picked up by Jorian Donovan. Donovan to Bonk. Up ahead for Wood, jumping in. Matthew Wood walks in, holds the puck at his feet, couldn't contain it. And now it's brought back by Kulik. He needs a change, and the puck goes up into the photographer's bench. 8:34 to go in a very Saddle Dome-looking arena in Gothenburg.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Nuts.com. When my grandfather started this business, he relied on freshness, quality, variety, and service. We still deliver the freshest nuts, dried fruits, snacks, and sweets to families all around the country.
Nuts.com. Enjoy 20% off plus free shipping on your first order.
How long have you been tracking the value of our car? Should we sell it?
We hold.
Our low mileage is paying off. You think we should?
Hold.
Now!
I'm on it.
Already sold to Carvana.
Go to Carvana and track your car's value today.
Peloton.
3, 2, 1.
Let's get it. Come on. I got you, baby.
Get up to $600 off Peloton purchases at onepeloton.com. Terms apply.
You work hard. You deserve a mobile bank that will go to work for you. With up to $200 in overdraft protection and early paydays, Go2bank, the mobile bank that works for you. Open an account at gotobank.com.
Czechia almost taking the lead once again, but the long leg and reach of Maverick Lamoureux takes away Zidlik. He just backs into him, and he can't get his stick extricated from the legs of Lamoureux. He doesn't know where the puck is, but still ties him up enough to thwart the chance.
Canada's had 14 of the last 17 shots in the game. No! Lead pass for Barish, who plays in Finland. That pass is knocked away. Cowan gathers it up. Plays it back around for Warren. And Noah Warren. There's a Victoria goal in the Quebec League. And that pass knocked down. Barish with it now. Barish winds in. That pass deflected away by Warren. And Furlong goes ahead for Cowan. Easton Cowan, long pass ahead for Jaeger. That misfired. Now at the line, brought ahead by Shapovalov. Drops it off. And Riemann, who had a penalty shot in the first period, throws that back for Shapovalov. Back for Galvis. He's tied up there by Wood. Wood trying to kick that back and does for Furlong. Banks it around to Warren. Looks across to Cowan. Chips that back down to the check zone, but that'll be icing against Canada. 7:29 to go in the third.
Every little moment here, trying to catch your breath. Matthew Wood's tired. They're all tired out there. There'll be a lot of pressure on Jaeger to win this faceoff.
Day off tomorrow. Semis on Thursday. The bronze and gold medal games on Friday.
Gotta sort this out. If they winger not on the hash marks, does Furlong go on the wall? I'd put him in the middle of the ice.
Bear for the face-off against Jaeger. Won by the Czechs. Rimon plays it around. Warren swats at it. Got Stancil on him.
Got to make a pass now. Make a pass.
Furlong on his backhand. Lifts it back down and reload.
So they had the chance to get out the other side. Warren couldn't pull the puck off the wall to make a pass, and now It's on their back end. It's another icing. It's more tired legs and a fresh line for Czechia stepping out. Making plays when you're tired, when you're under pressure. Hard to do.
Czechs will take the face-off on this side. It'll be Milovsky against Jaeger. One back cleanly to Galvis. Shoots, that was blocked by Wood. That might have hurt Matthew Wood. Chalet plays it back, but the pass draws Perchik out. And Canada gets part of a change started. Furlong back on it. Bouncing puck into the feet of Wood, flips it back to center. Owen Beck's out there now for Canada. As Perchik has it. Race that back down to the Canadian zone. Lamoureux. Another chip down ahead. Lamoureux. Back around for Furlong. He was tied up. Beck comes back to help out. Chalet drops that back at the point. Long shot taken there by Hamara. That's deflected wide. And now brought ahead by Beck along with Geekie and Danielson. Danielson drops it off to Connor Geekie. Tried to pull that towards the goal. It was blocked by Milovsky. And the lead pass for Chalet. He's tied up there by Matejchuk. And away comes Beck. Snaps that pass for Danielson. Danielson looks ahead for Geekie. Inside 6 to go here in the third period. Danielson works back in the corner with it. Nate Danielson still on it. Pivots back again on Hamara. Danielson throws it towards the goal and Geekie couldn't quite reach it. Here's Zidlitzky. That pass knocked down by Matejchuk. Now picked up again by Alsher. Alsher up ahead for Zidlitzky. And a sharp angle shot gloved by Rousseau, and he'll grab that. 5:30 to go. It's white knuckle time in the third period of this quarterfinal game at the 2024 World Junior Hockey Championship.
This is crazy.
You know, with On Deck, we could get a small business loan fast and order more equipment today.
Or Lone Falcon! Lone Falcon, why?
There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. On Deck, the online lender that makes it easy to choose your loan and if approved, get funds as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck.
In this challenging market, you need to be innovative to navigate buying or selling a home.
That's why who you work with matters.
HomeLight's Buy Before You Sell program has been a game changer for our team.
One of our clients, a young couple, found an amazing home that was only available for a short period of time.
They were able to present a fast, non-contingent offer
before even having to think about selling their existing home and win the home of their dreams.
It's been a noisy afternoon here in Gothenburg. Going to get noisier tonight when the host team, Sweden, looking to win an elusive gold medal, just one in the last 42 years, will take on Switzerland. Off the face-off. Racing to it is Czech. Alice Czech. Bounce inside of the goal. Gathered by Lamoureux. Looks up for Celebrini. Plays it back across for Jaeger. In comes Braden Jaeger. Hold, drops it back to Matejchuk. Feeds it down for Minton side of the goal. Fraser Minton plays it back for Lamoureux. Lamoureux shoots. It's tipped wide by Celebrini. And Macklin Celebrini racing to it, along with Minton, now picked up by Jack. Move to center ice by Saboka. Bounces back to Stanson to open the scoring. He fires there, and Rousseau makes the stop. He was leaning, but he grabs it, and Matisse Rousseau will hang on to that.
Under 5 to go. Now is not the time to look to pass. Everything on net. Tight angles, rebounds, chaos. As the tension on the Canadian parents' faces.
Front row is the Rousseaus. Second row is the Celebrinis.
And they're feeling it. The players are as well. You're in the game, but you know the magnitude of the moment.
Bosch with a face-off against Kulik. And Kulik wins it cleanly back with past Galvis and back down to the Czech zone. And Savoy races after him. Galvis just added to this Czech lineup. Pivots back. Fires that down. Bouncing puck goes to Carson Raycott. Furlong up for Raycott with Poitras. And Matt Poitras winds in. Poitras looks back for Savoy. Matt Savoy walks it and shoots. And diving across was Perchik to get a piece of that. Bond chips that to Raycott. Jumps in as Canada breaks in 4 wide. Raycott turns it back in front just as Furlong who had jumped up. And Zidlichki pokes that ahead for Shapovalov with Chalet. Shapovalov works in and a great play by Poitras to knock that away. Bank that back down to the Czechia zone, and it dies near the goal line. So no icing called. Hamara. Lead pass for the defenseman Alsher, but he couldn't corral it. Now Beck on it. Chips it back down to the Czech zone. 3:45 to go in the third. If overtime is needed, it's 10 minutes of sudden death, and then if necessary, a shootout. Back. Pass ahead for Danielson, missed. And back goes Hamara for it. Plays it back around. Matejchuk jumps up. Then to Matejchuk, in for a large. Plays that back around for Beck. Here's Danielson. Back for a large. Beck back on it. Owen Beck. Leaves it there for a large. And a large being worked over there. Chips it back for Danielson. To the point he goes. Matejchuk. Long wrist shot floats wide. Allard got flattened in front. And Mashalovsky banks it back down. And careful with that was Matejchuk. A chip ahead to Canada with an odd man rush. As the Czechs are changing. Danielson works it and shoots. Kicked away by Rabel. Allard chips it back in for Danielson. Danielson falls. And it's brought back out by Czech. Paul Rimon moves around Furlong. Rimon still on it. Rimon works it back in the high slot. Kulik can get a shot away. Blocked by Geekie, and back comes Canada the other way. Geekie chips that down to the Czechia zone. Back in front, Geekie with a chance, and the save is made. Point blank by Rabel.
A couple of good chances. Geekie gets one, but not as good as Savoy on the rush. A really nice delay play by Poitras. Slides it to Geekie, right where he wants it, and he sails it. Man, the glass has been rattling an awful lot. I think he just shoots it right over top of the net, trying to go block where Wood was. Can Canada recognize a good chance here? Just goes wide like so many have.
Face off in the Czech zone. Geekie reaching for it. It's knocked down by Czech. That's center ice. Wood sweeps that back down to the Czech zone. Matthew Wood has kick-started things for Canada for second period. With goal to get them on the board. They were trailing 2-0. Kulik works it and shoots. That goes high. Battles back to Cowan. Easton Cowan works in. In the high slot is Bonk. Bonk back across, and Geekie healed that wide. Cowan pokes it back to Wood. Back in for Cowan. He's bumped off the puck by Galvis. Inside 2 to go here in the third period. Lead pass to Cowan. In comes Easton Cowan. In the high slot, it goes back to Matejchuk working in. Dumais centers it. It bounces back to Cowan. Now Easton Cowan, end of a long shift for him. Cowan works it back. Dumais with a shot that flutters wide. Cowan back on it. In for Dumais. Geekie goes on, along with Cowan. As Dumais out there for checking, here's Zidlichki with it. Being watched by Celebrini, flips out ahead. And Chalet plays that to the Canadian line. Matejchuk lead pass, crisply ahead for Celebrini. Drops it up for Dumais, works it and shoots. Look at that, just wide. Matejchuk plays it back in. Dumais jumping in. Scooped up by Mastolarski. He squeezed out the puck by Minton. At center ice, Dumais chips it. Picked up by Celebrini. In comes Macklin Celebrini. Poke checked away from him by Alsher. And now the lead pass finds Behar. Behar centers it. And trying to get a stick on that was Mastolarski. Knocked away from him. 45 seconds to go in the third period. Furlong for Matejchuk. Up for Dumais. Off the sideboards and back down to the Czech line. Savoka for Alsher. And now brought in by Rimon. Rimon spins back. Rimon works to the top and shoots. Block puck in front. Bounces back to Matejchuk. Looks ahead for Dumais. The pass too far for him. Savoka plays that back for Czech. 20 seconds to go in the third. Rimon works in. Drops it back to Behar. And now Stensel shot scored! Stensel with a shot that deflected by Rousseau. And with 11 seconds to go in the third, the Czechs have retaken the lead. Stensel opened the score, and he might just have closed it as well.
A crazy carom. It's going to be the go-ahead goal for Stensel. This one's going far side of the net. Hits off Bonk's foot, off the post, and in. It was a long shift, a late change. Canada back up a little bit, and off the stick of Bonk. Absolutely nothing you can do with that. And so Canada now, as the Czech bench celebrates accordingly. And Canada will have to call a timeout here to try to orchestrate some magic 12-second solution.
And the Rousseau family, heartbroken. Nothing their son could do about that. I mean, that's just...
No. And it's been a bend but don't break Czech team for 2 periods, played on their own end.
And
good
the Czechs,
goaltending, missed opportunities, and now they're a 1 face-off away from sealing this. Heartbreak.
Czechs have never beaten Canada in a medal round game at the World Junior. 0-7 coming in. They brought a really good team here to Sweden. Started with 6 returning players, lost 1 in their last round robin games, and now Rousseau will go to the bench. And 11.7 seconds left. Celebrini, Dumais, Poitras, Savoy, Minton, and Geeky. 6 forwards for Canada. Scramble draw. Picked up by Celebrini, now moved ahead, a chance for the empty net. Hit the side of the goal. Minton looked ahead for Geeky. Time winding down here in the period. And Czechia beats Canada to advance to the semifinals, their first ever win against Canada in a medal round game at the World Junior Hockey Championship. And for just the 3rd time in the last 26 World Juniors, Canada falls in the quarterfinals. They lost in overtime to Canada last year in the gold medal game. And now the Czechs will go to the semis. Finland also advancing today.
Day for the underdog so far, 2 for 2, the lower seeded teams. But this was a pick'em game to begin with. And Czechia used a familiar formula. Opportunistic, good defense.
And the Czechs will be the host nation for the upcoming World Championship in the spring. Like where their program is going.
It's been a while since Czechia made noise at the World Juniors.
We're going to get the player of the game presentations, then we'll get the top 3 players for each team, and then the Czech anthem.
On a deflected goal with 11 seconds left. Canada carried the play for 35 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the player of the game is presented by ICA with a contribution of 5,000 Swedish kronor to IIHF Cancer. The prizes will be presented by Mikael Haglund, General Secretary of the tournament, and Jonathan Goldblum, Chairman of Hockey Canada. The player of the game in Team Canada, number 24, Denton Matejchuk.
Denton Matejchuk is Canada's player of the game. Native of Dominion City, Manitoba, in the southeast corner of the province.
The player of the game in Team Czechia, number 30, Michal Kravan.
Bravo, the Arizona second-round pick. He's played every minute for the Czechs so far, and No reason to think that'll change anytime soon. And now we'll get the top three for each team.
The three best players of the 2024 IIHF World Junior Championship Team Canada will now be awarded with a watch from Tissot, the official partner of the International Ice Hockey Federation. The first player in Team Canada, number 13, Maverick Lamoureux.
Lamoureux, tower of strength all tournament long. Him and Matejchuk played 25 minutes every game.
Native of Hawkesbury, Ontario.
Second player, number 17, Macklin Celebrini.
Well, Macklin Celebrini is eligible to return next year. But you get the sense that
the way he played, he might not be here.
Finally,
he's one of 8 of the return for Canada.
Number 24, Denton Matejchuk.
And Matejchuk gets some more hardware.
Deep air. Thrust into heavy duty with some injuries and illnesses before the tournament started.
Got a 23-game point streak this year, the longest by any player in the Canadian Hockey League. But this is the hard one. You lose the quarters, you're done.
A disappointing day to lose. Every loss is disappointing, but you've come all this way, invested all this time, and it feels like you've got nothing for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Czechia.